When you travel the world for a year, you see and experience so much, and we want to share our daily travels with you. Unfortunately, a hard drive failure means we have to tell the middle a little bit differently. So, welcome to Storytime with the Happy Hoppies in this edition of the Lost Episodes. Well, we are finally sitting down to do this and talk about our lost episodes, and they are officially lost.
So we sent the hard drive, once looked like this, to 5 of the top data recovery specialists here in the States. And now it looks like this with all these fun little stickers. I don't know if you can see them, but they have stickers from the different companies. Focus. There it is, right?
Yep.
So it has stickers from all these different companies that tried to recover the hard drive, and they all said it was beyond recoverable. Unfortunately, the physical damage that happened was too extensive, so they couldn't get anything off of it.
So we are going to sit down and talk about those 70-something days that we lost. So where we last left off in the regular vlogs, we were in Bosnia, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hang on, I gotta even remember where we were. So we last left you in the regular vlogs. We were in. Don't laugh at me.
We last left you. We left you. We left you. We abandoned you.
Well, yeah. It has been an abandonment for like 4 months. Sorry. Didn't think it'd be this long to recover. Anyways, well, we didn't recover. So finally sitting down and talking. But where we last left off, we were in Sarajevo, Bosnia. And we had just explored, saw a lot of great history.
We're visiting some places from history.
The guy at the hostel that night, he did not have a really good attitude about where he lived. And, you know, a lot of the country that you get to experience is the people that you get to meet. And so I was really like disheartened by his view of everything. But the guy the next morning,
he was really cool and just really proud of where he is and what they've done and accomplished. And so
he was awesome.
Just, you know, those differences in perspectives and personalities and outlooks.
Yep. And so then we were getting, so that morning we woke up pretty early. I think it was like 6 or 7. I don't remember, but I remember it was early.
We don't have the footage, so some of these details are gonna be.
The sun was not up yet. I do remember that. By the time we ate our breakfast and got the taxi and were taking the taxi to the bus station, that's when the sun started to come up. So it was pretty early.
And the dude in the morning was super cool. So we only had like a certain amount of local currency on us. And the taxi was supposed to be like just enough where it was gonna be fine.
Yep.
And then the guy shows up and he's like, well, it's actually a little bit more. It wasn't much more, but it was a little bit more. And so the guy from the hotel had come out to the taxi with us to make sure that everything translated correctly on where we needed to go next for the bus station and all this stuff, because there was 2 main bus stations. And so he helped make sure we were going to the correct bus station, because the other one's like the opposite side of town. But anyway, the guy from the hotel, or the hostel, when he had come out and he was talking and found out that it was going to be a little more than they told us it should have been, he went back into the hostel, like pulled out some of his own money and spotted us like the extra $1 or $2, whatever it was.
No, I think it was the equivalence of 25 to 50 cents. I remember that.
So it wasn't much, but like it made a difference for us being able to go. It was just super cool and awesome, just super kind of that guy just to spot us that. So thank you.
So nice. I mean, because we were leaving the country, we didn't want to get out more currency, so thank you for spotting us. We were getting on the bus and we were taking a 5-hour trip to Belgrade, and that was through the mountains.
Yeah, we didn't realize how scenic it was going to be. It was really cool. It was like a really twisty, curvy road like you would imagine if you've ever driven through the mountains, like on the East Coast in the Blue Ridge Mountains, or out here in the Rockies in Colorado. You know, the road just keeps twisting back and forth, and some of them get pretty narrow. And at one point, the bus took it a little too close to another car as he was going around a curve and caught the dude's bumper and tore it right off. So he had to pull over. The bus driver got out, went and talked to the driver. They like talked a little bit, shook hands, threw the bumper in the trunk of the car, or back seat, I'm not sure which one it was, but anyway, threw it in the car and went on their merry way, so.
So I guess that's how we were in Serbia still? No, I don't think we were in.
I don't know which country we were in at the moment.
Yeah, I think we were still in Bosnia. I'm not sure if we were in Bosnia or already in Serbia, but I guess it's just kind of how they deal with it.
It was way out in the sticks in the mountains somewhere, so.
Yeah, and it was so narrow, but it was still a busy road. And so in the meantime, like while they were stopped, no one could get around from either direction. So everyone was kind of just at a standstill for a while. I mean, it only took like 5 minutes to solve, but still traffic did back up.
And everybody was really patient. I mean, nobody was honking on their horns and going crazy, so.
Yeah. So we arrive in Belgrade, Serbia. Is it Belgrade? Belgrade, I think.
Belgrade, I think.
Yeah. And
correct us if we're wrong.
Yeah, I know.
As usual.
So we arrive in Belgrade. I don't know if we walked from the bus station. I think we must have to our apartment.
We did.
And so when we arrived, so we rented, so through booking, right? No?
Yeah, I think so. Did you look that up? I thought you did.
I think I did too.
You didn't put it in your notes.
No, that one must have been on Expedia because I couldn't find it and you didn't ever give me your Expedia notes.
Ew.
It wasn't on a booking. It wasn't on Expedia.
One moment.
This is what we're gonna have to do. We're gonna fact check because we wanna make sure what we tell you is correct. One moment. Okay, it was booking. Peter is right.
The reason I knew it was booking is because we had a little issue with the payment.
Yes, so first,
not that big of an issue.
So first, we get to the apartment on the street. Let's talk about that first. It was this beautiful street, but it was still daylight. And so you could see that there were Christmas lights hung because this was in November. Yes, this is a year later. We're finally getting
so
this
we're kind of on track, just a year later.
Yeah, everything's kind of just a year behind.
We got to the apartment and it was a beautiful apartment, very spacious, had a full kitchen.
Full kitchen, like stove, like full-size fridge, not just like a mini fridge, full-size fridge.
Big cabinets, lots of space, you know, really nice, I guess, queen-size bed and a desk by the window and just tons and tons of space. It was only 31 bucks a night via booking. Anyway, so we drop our stuff and decided to go out and get some groceries for dinner, and Lisa was super excited about making dinner because I guess it'd been a while since we were in such a nice kitchen.
Yeah, so I was like, oh goodness, like we're definitely gonna have dinner here tonight and I'll get eggs for the morning and like spinach and it's gonna be so good. But before we got groceries, we went out and explored first.
So we're out enjoying the city lights at night, all the Christmas decor,
so
taking
gorgeous.
photos. And because it's at dark, my camera doesn't do super well because it's just a crop sensor, it's not full frame. But anyway, I won't bore you with all the details. So there's a night mode on it that helps compensate and get some decent shots. But what the night mode does, it takes 4 quick photos back to back. So you press the shutter button, it goes, and I was taking a picture at one particular spot and this dude turns to me that happened to be kind of in the shot and said,
in perfect English.
Yeah, and he said something about, hey, are you trying to take a picture of me? What are you doing with the photo kind of thing? And I'm like, I'm just taking a photo of all this beautiful street. I wasn't trying to specifically get a picture of you. I just can't obviously ask everybody, hey, get out of my picture kind of thing, you know, so.
We have no idea who the guy was. Like he was like really well dressed in a business suit. So maybe some kind of politician there or something, I don't know, but.
Maybe he's in hiding. No.
No, he was definitely some kind of business guy. Anyway, so then after that we went to the Belgrade Fortress and it was really pretty at night to be there.
Wandered around, took a few photos, and then went to the grocery store.
Yep.
Finally.
Yes. So I went a little crazy at the grocery store because I was so excited for this kitchen. And so, but for dinner, we did decide to go with like some of the like deli. They already had like some local dishes that were pre-made in like single size portions.
And everybody was super sweet there at the deli. So both the workers and then other customers that were coming over to get stuff saw that, we weren't speaking the language.
We're
and
just
we were trying
pointing.
to communicate and point. And so, they saw some of what we were sampling, and a couple ladies recommended a couple other items for us to try. So that would be really good. And so
Right,
that's super fun.
She probably didn't know we were trying to eat it all that night, because we picked out like 4 like single-size serving things to split between us, and I think she recommended like 2 more, and then I think we ended up going, it was 6 to 8 different things. It was a little bit crazy. So
we ate well.
Yeah, we did eat well, and then we got eggs for the next morning and spinach, and I think that was about it for cooking.
Yeah, didn't you get like a huge bag of spinach too?
Yeah, I think I got a huge bag of spinach, like a 2-pound bag of spinach, because I was like, I want to eat spinach tonight and tomorrow.
So we got back to the apartment. That's when we found out, when we opened the cupboards, that we should have done that before going to the grocery store. Unfortunately, they didn't have any pots, pans, anything to really cook with, like cooking utensils and stuff. So I called the dude up that manages the apartment, and I was like, hey, do you have a pot or pan that we can borrow or that you can pick up and bring over? He's like, sorry, no, we don't have it. And so we had to figure out how to make stuff with basically nothing.
Because I was hoping to fry the eggs, and make scrambled eggs, but if I couldn't do that, at least if I had like a spaghetti pot pan, I could boil the eggs. But there was nothing, and the only thing that there was for the oven, because the things that we had got from the deli for dinner, I wanted to heat up. Peter was like, I'll just eat it cold, it'll be fine.
It was much better warm.
It was much better warm. I was like, no, I'm going to figure out a way to heat this up. So they had a plate, and I was just hoping that it was oven safe. And I stuck myself on the plate, and I just put the plate on the drip pan. There was a drip pan in the oven, and that's how I heated it up. So the oven all worked, everything worked. There was just nothing to cook it on. And then to get it out, there wasn't even like a oven mitt or anything. So I just used, there wasn't even a kitchen towel. So I used a bath towel to get out the plate of food, and it was much better warm. One of the things was like beef stew almost, but you know how beef stew, if it gets cold, it like all congeals? Well, Peter just ate it all congealed. It was so gross. I didn't even try it. So anyways, but he tried mine warm, and he was like, yeah, I should have waited. So then my next big challenge was to try to figure out how to boil these eggs, because we got a dozen eggs and I wanted to have them for the morning. So yeah, a dozen eggs in the morning.
Seriously?
I think we ate them all.
No, we didn't.
Oh no.
No, because
we
it didn't work.
Oh right, so it didn't work. Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay, so what ended up happening was I found this candy jar. Okay, this is how desperate I was. There was a little candy jar, and I figured, well, if I can put some boiling water in this candy jar, and then I can put the eggs inside there and then put the lid on top overnight, then maybe it'll be boiled. There was thankfully a hot water maker, so I boiled water in that, and then I carefully poured it, and I couldn't just pour it all in one candy jar because there were actually 2 candy jars. So I put the eggs in the 2 different candy jars, boiled the water, and put the eggs in, and did that. And then I actually, before I went to bed, dumped that water out, made more boiling water, and put it on top, so that way it would hopefully like be boiled twice. So in the morning, when we wake up, the eggs are not cooked. They were like
kind of runny, kind of not.
There
were parts of it that were just too soft and weird, so
it was like
we
watery.
Because at this point it was also cold. It had been in the fridge overnight.
Oh, no. I left it on the counter.
Fridge?
I left it on the counter.
Okay, well, it was room temperature.
It's room temperature.
It's not hot.
Yeah, it wasn't very good, and so we ended up throwing them out. But here's a tip. I'm getting ahead of myself. Later, we found out when we were in Asia that you can just put the eggs right in the hot water kettle and the eggs don't crack. Because that was what I was afraid of. I was afraid that if I put them in that with them bopping up and down, that the eggs would crack and there'd be like a yolky mess in there. I didn't want to make a mess in their hot water kettle, but actually it works out great. So that's what we ended up doing later in Asia, and that is a great tip for traveling. when you do find a hotel or hostel or whatever, if your room is able to have a hot water maker, you can make so much food in there, including hard-boiled eggs. So
more on that to come.
Yeah, more on that to come for sure. But yeah, we figured out more later. We're still newbies at this point. We're only 4 months into the trip at this point. So
is that it?
Yeah, I think that's really it. So yeah.
That's today.
That's today, yes.
The next episode is definitely one of our most memorable and unique moments, and definitely the most interesting border crossing that we ever had on the world trip to 62 countries. So stay tuned for that and see what happened and why it was so interesting.
Yep. See you in the next episode. That's a wrap.